Host for tonight sent us.
Hello there.
Well, none of you probably know Sentis, but no, I'm kidding. Anyway, Sentis is yeah, no, but anyway, as I'm saying, Sentis, good friend of mine over the past couple of weeks. We are brutally casters together. We are casting friends. That's the main thing. Anyway, this week we're gonna do a general recap of everything, and talk about everything that's been happening the past few weeks in esports and gaming news. Obviously, we're gonna be touching up on some games that released. Obviously, Borderlands 3 released. That has been a very big game. Very nice. Also, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep released, which was amazing. Well, which is amazing. Came out 3 days ago. That's my life. Also, want to touch up on. I was not well last week, so that's why streaming has been a bit of a mess. And I'm working on a project that you people will see in a few weeks, even.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I'm hyped. What is it?
I
You
can't
can't tell?
discuss that yet. No, it's a very secretive thing I'm
now
working
I'm
on.
excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Anyway, things that have happened in gaming news. Obviously, we talked about the games that have been released. Yeah. No. But other things that have happened, interestingly, esports wise, FaZe paired up with Manchester City. It's a weird pair up, but pretty
It
cool.
is. I've actually heard of that. I think on Twitter I saw some
Yeah.
tweets where I was a little surprised and also a little bit shocked, to be honest, because first of all, FaZe is a very American team. Like their whole thing
And
is like
pairing up with a European football team, which is
exactly.
it's
No,
weird.
I mean it makes sense. Two
Yeah.
huge brands which go a little bit more into character. Like they're both great gaming brands, have great teams, or one great gaming brand, one great real life sport brand. But they have great teams in Manchester United in football, but facing a lot of different esports. But I don't know. It's weird. I agree with you. It's weird.
It's strange, but like at the same time, it's a smart business move from both, because FaZe obviously could bring in potentially more fans to the sport and even the team. It's business moves from both, because also people like who are supporters of Manchester City, well, if they don't know about FaZe, can learn about FaZe because they're now partnered with Manchester City. So
Yeah,
yeah,
indeed.
yeah, and
I
like
mean,
it's like when Offset invested into FaZe.
oh
The
yeah.
rap, yeah. It's kind of like that. Like they have been making a lot of business moves and becoming more of a celebrity orientated thing. They are getting like bigger names in and bigger investors. Obviously, like with 100 Thieves as well. If you think of it, they can't enter
Oh
the
yeah.
COD championships. They had a big investment from Drake, but like it's not enough because of COD franchising. In that means
They've got what they had a $32 million investment for their esports brand,
yeah.
and then COD comes along, wants to franchise their league, and literally the biggest name in COD history, I would say, Nate Shot, tells them that it's not worth investing in them. Imagine what that does to the COD league. I can't
But no,
see. I
that's the thing
can't.
though, is it's not going to do anything to the COD League. It's just gonna. They just made a bad move in my opinion, because 100 Thieves obviously, it's a well known org, and it's an org that people expect to see in things like COD and Fortnite and stuff. It pains me to say Fortnite, really does, because I hate the game. But obviously it's a big industry, and like, come on, kids have won $3 million from the shit.
I mean, there's nothing bad about Fortnite. Like, this game itself, I've played it a few times. My little brother plays it a lot, but he's also the age demographic for that game. And it's actually, I have to say, it's a lot of fun. It's just more a little bit like the like Minecraft back in the day. It's just like the community, which is just like these 9 to 14 years old, which are, I guess, the
Mm.
main demographic for it. Just make it so much more annoying to play if you have voice chat and all that. For example, the same with Modern Warfare 2. If you go back, like far back in the day of COD, where you had this little racist kid which always screamed down the mic in almost any lobby you joined, and that's a little bit like Fortnite, just that it was way more toxic, and that's just why a lot of people dislike Fortnite. But the game itself, I have to say, is actually not too bad. But I
Yeah.
haven't played it in months, so maybe new seasons or whatever change that.
And like, yeah, no, that's the thing. I haven't touched Fortnite. I touched it the first time it came out. Played it for 10 minutes. I was like, nope, definitely not. My game hate it. I was
Yeah.
hyped for PUBG, and I was still on like console at the time. But no.
Oh God, you were a console pleb. My condolences.
Yes, I'm
or,
back.
or rather, I'm happy that you got off that
I made
bad.
the amazing decision to move to
Yes.
the,
Yes.
the, the PC world.
PC Master Race.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm telling you.
The master race of master races, like, it's just the best thing you could have done. The best thing I done. Best thing I done. I
That
love.
sounds like racism with extra steps, to be honest.
Whoa. No, that is terrible.
I'm just making a very bad joke. I'm
Just
sorry.
pulling my leg. No, but yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, it's just been interesting. Some of the moves that have been like played in the esports industry as of late, and like obviously, yeah.
Especially with the whole, I don't know if you got that, but with FaZe and Tfue was also like the lawsuit
Oh
which is
yeah,
coming along
obviously.
at the moment, and all that kind of stuff.
It's
That's
it's, it's
also
still
pretty
old news,
big.
but like it's still massive. They kind of it's just
Yeah.
like not good.
Yeah, but what I have to say, I've just read an article, a day ago, I think, about one of those. You remember those CS:GO streamers, which had like those gambling websites, and there was like a
Hmm.
huge scandal in 2015 or 16, I
Oh, you mean
think,
like with CS:GO
where
Wild and all that, T Martin
exactly,
Syndicate?
and that
Yeah,
like those people who owned the websites and then gambled and promoted them without saying that in the videos.
yeah,
And that guy, one of those guys who did that, just went and actually was got one of his lawsuits allowed and put through, and it stated that the Twitch partner contract is illegal. So the partner contract every streamer signs is partially illegal
oof,
because but it might have the contract he signed was illegal. It's possible that the contract newer streamers have signed are now different, but in
yeah,
2015 when he signed that contract, it had a clause saying that if he was eligible to sue, he would only be allowed to sue for $50,000 at max. The problem with that being, in a contract like this, it's not allowed to state, for example, a maximum amount they can
yeah,
sue, because the amount he made in a few months was way more than those 50 grand. That means it would not be worth for him to sue if he would have been wrong. So it would cost him more than he would actually get back. So that's why the contract has been deemed illegal or
yeah.
partially illegal or whatever you want to state that. And if you think about that, how many Twitch partners have signed around that area, and think, I might have a contract with Twitch which is illegal, and I might be able to sue them for a heck of a lot of money because of it, or because of like just maybe people have been banned or some stuff like that. And that could mean a heck of a lot of money Twitch has to spend on people suing them because they fucked up their partner contract or made an illegal
Oh yeah,
contract. What, 4 years ago?
yeah. But like, if you think of it, the scandal with that, the whole scandal with that is because of kids gambling and stuff. And obviously, recently, that's another thing I want to talk about. CS:GO recently in France, they're doing away with loot boxes, such like in Belgium and all of that.
Oh yeah, I've read
They
that
they did something. They added a new thing called the X-ray scanner. French
yeah,
people can no longer buy cases. They can actually, yeah, they can buy cases. Uh,
but they
but
can look in what they have inside them before, so
yeah,
they can extract them and then see what they are. And that would be cool. But if they use the X-ray, they have
to
to
buy it,
open the
yeah,
case. They have to buy it, exactly. So the only thing that does is give CS:GO more or less a backdoor to, yes, we can still do gambling, but now that they know what is in the pack,
yeah.
that's legal, which I'm not sure it will actually be, but at the moment it seems like it is. So
Well,
so sad.
according to some laws, it's gonna be passed that they're gonna have to show the percentage of how like the percentage you can get the rarity of item at,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't show a percentage, which is a bit thingy, and they need to put these protocols in just to like
Okay.
discourage people from doing it, because they can spend money and lose money out of it.
Oh yeah, but I think the main thing with those like with that is for because now they don't have to give the percentage anymore, because if they already say, hey, it's 100% chance that this is in there, they already show the chance of what is in there.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if they show what is in the case you have to open now, then they more or less don't have to do the um percentage thing. I would think anymore. Maybe I'm not very good at French law, to be honest, or at law overall, especially other
I wanna,
countries
I
than my
wanna, I
own.
wanna read up on this patch. I really do. I don't know if it's they can't buy cases anymore, or if they
No,
can't buy.
no. I think they can buy cases, but and they can either sell them as normal. I think you can sell cases. I'm not a CS:GO guy at all. I just I'm a CS guy, so I think you can sell the cases, or you can X-ray them and then have to open them.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the only thing they added, or that's what I've saw on Reddit and in some article, I think. But maybe if you look that up, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm looking up it. Yeah, no, that's what I meant. They can't open cases normally anymore. I think they have to do it for the X-ray scanner.
Hmm. Huh, huh, huh.
Just- I'm confused with it. Like some of the things that have been happening as well is like it's just come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. This isn't gaming related, but Big Mouth season 3's out. Oh no, I'm happy.
What?
Oh, it's
Big Mouth? Oh, Big Mouth. Yeah.
yeah, season 3's out today. Oh yes,
That's cool. Actually, I think I only watched the first season. After that, I was a little weirded out, and I didn't keep watching it.
mate,
I mean,
it's so
it is a
funny.
little. It is very funny, yeah, but a little weird. So.
Oh, oh, Zer's out for Zer's out for Destiny today. I'm excited for that. I don't know. Like, things I want to talk about as well is like recently. Honestly, this show, yeah, I always go back to the show when I don't know. It's episode 14. That's 14 weeks of LambCast.
Mhm.
14 weeks. It is a longly established show.
That's almost what, 3 months? No, that's actually more than 3 months. That's 4.5 months. I don't,
Yes,
can't count. Wow, that's actually quite long.
4 episodes a month.
Makes sense if you have it once a week.
Yep, yep. And last week we didn't actually do an episode where we did the last episode of the month. Oh, we didn't do that last week.
Oh
Oh,
damn. Oh damn.
oh.
Not good at all.
No, no, that was the direction. But we did have Tom Wilde on, so you know that was the better substitute. I'm kidding. I would
The
take Tom Wilde.
better
I
substitute.
would take Tom Wilde over doing an end of the month show anyway. Tom's so
Oh
nice.
yeah, true.
Such a good guy.
But talking about esports, we just had
KFC.
the ESL. What? Oh yeah, the KFC thing we can get in later. But what I wanted to mention, we are
Yeah.
already in CS:GO and esports, and there was just the ESL One New York, and a very big thing happened. EG, a team that didn't have a team in the past 8 years in CS:GO, just bought up the NRG roster, and they won ESL One New York against Astralis in the final, which is incredible. No one actually expected them to win against Astralis, and that was a very impressive move they did there.
Oof.
And the actually funny part about that story is that NRG, on the same day the Overwatch League or a tournament for Overwatch was, at the same day the ESL One New York final was, and the team
Yeah.
that Energy owns in Overwatch
Yeah.
won that tournament. That means if Energy wouldn't have sold their CS:GO roster,
They would have won back
they
to
would have
back.
they would have won two tournaments at the same day, or two championships at the same day, which would have been really cool. But
But no,
I mean,
money.
Money, exactly. Here comes money. And the copyrights. Here comes the copyright strike.
Who cares? My YouTube videos don't get monetized anyway.
Oh boy. Oh, that hurts.
No, I choose to not have monetization, but it's fine.
Okay.
They don't
Rich
want
boy.
copyright strikes.
I mean, you can still get copyright strike even if you monetize them. I don't monetize them. I mean,
Eh. Oh no. Oh, also, let's talk about that. The Doki situation that's currently happening.
oh yeah, but he will. Okay, so Doki got banned for toxic behavior apparently.
Yeah.
What 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and he actually see on the ESL page. I just looked it up. He's eligible to play tonight. So, and he's playing not this match right now, which is gonna start in like a few minutes, which is Empire versus
Who is
Vitality.
this playing? Is
One
it
after.
Pi? Is it Undercover Pi?
Undercover Pie also joined their team as a substitute, I think, but
Yeah,
he's
no.
not playing.
That's
Far
what I
as I'm
mean.
aware.
Is because potentially I was looking at Fresh, Fresh, his
Mhm.
blog, and he was talking about how he thought Pi might be playing tonight.
Yes, he joined the team, like a little surprisingly, but people just assumed that it's probably in case Doki wasn't eligible to play because,
Yeah.
so in the ESL rules, which are pretty clearly stated, if anybody didn't know that, in rule 1.1 or 1.1.1, I'm not sure, like a very far up the rules, it says that if you get a ban from Ubisoft, you're not allowed to play in ESL tournaments anymore. So you're
Oof.
also barred for playing ESL tournaments. Thing is, that rule doesn't really apply to pro players unless they get banned for cheating, obviously.
Pog.
Because there have been a few NA pros, I think Foxeye and some other guy as well, who have been banned for toxic when when you could spam the chat message which would crash the server or the game or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And they did that because they said to try it out, but I mean, maybe I don't know. Yeah, so they apparently did that, and they got banned for that for like 15 days or whatever, and then their badge got removed, and because ESL said, hey, those are pro players, and we can't just like ban people from a giant org
Yeah.
because they've done something stupid, and so I don't think it will actually get Doki banned from playing from.
It'll be very surprising if he does get banned, like permanently, for playing in tournaments because that's his.
Oh yeah.
That's his job just done.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't listen to that. Like, there's been people who've been banned for cheating from Ubisoft, like semi-pro players mainly, and they've been banned by like for cheating, and they've been banned from ESL. But for toxic, I don't think there's ever been anybody banned for toxic. And the main thing, if you play, for example, Go Force and all that kind of stuff, you can just get your name banned and then just change your in-game tag in the ESL page, and you wouldn't get banned for that as well, because you do just, if you have a Smurf account, for example, just then change it to that and play on that. So it's not like there's like you would actually be permabanned unless there's an actual barrage against you by BSL itself. So
yeah, I get it. I get you. I get you.
you know what I kind of wanted to get into, because I've always wanted to talk about that, and it's as of late it's come up more and more. People hating on ESL, and that's a very I know. I mean, it's a very brittle thing to talk about, because a lot of people hate on ESL because some pro player gets barrage, or for example the Sonics thing right now with
Yeah.
S7 and Comfy. Then also, I don't know, what was it, and Prem, some guy got disqualified because he was only 4 minutes late after the already 20-minute wait time that ESL gives the player. And
Yeah.
like those kind of stuff has been popping up very often as of lately. And I want to talk about it a bit because I've worked for ESL as an admin, as a freelance admin, and I'm working for ESL currently, not in the Siege department, but for ESL
Yeah.
Germany as their social media manager. That means I take care of tweet for them, take care of the social media coverage for the ESL Meisterschaft. And
Yeah.
what more or less what I wanted to get at is that people say all that shit is like ESL's fault, or they blame ESL for that kind of stuff. But for example, if you're playing in a tournament and a player doesn't show up, his internet is out, or his there's been a power shortage or outage or something like that, and then he doesn't show up for 20 or 30 minutes, and you don't have a substitute which is eligible to play, then why is it ESL's fault that that the team gets disqualified?
Mm.
It's very clearly stated in the rules. You have 15 minutes to start the match. If the player, if you don't have a full squad by then, you're not
Yeah.
eligible to play. What happens then is that after the 15 minutes, the admin most of the time can give the players another 5 minutes. Hey, now get your shit together, more or less, and then they will disqualify. And that's what happened. For example, I think that was Prem last season that happened, Prem qualifiers or something like that. And a guy came 5 or 6 minutes too late after the 20 minutes were over, and then people on Twitter shitted on ESL because he was only 5 minutes late. But no, he wasn't. The same now happening with Slaven Gumfi. Hashtag let them play. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, it stated very clearly they need a 6-month visa, and then what happens is that that Sonics imports them more or less and expects to get a full-on visa within a month in America, which is a joke. I have family working and living in America, which
Yeah.
which have a work visa, and it's extremely hard to almost impossible to get a work visa, a temporary or a set work visa in such a short time. And then obviously ESL gets blamed. And the funny thing is that ESL didn't even make the executive decision. The decision there was made by Ubisoft. So ESL said they were eligible to play, but or said, I think they're eligible to play. We have to check up with Ubisoft. Then they
Yeah.
checked up with Ubisoft, and Ubisoft said no. So
Oof.
ESL wasn't even the one who said, hey, they can't play. No, it was Ubisoft, because they have the executive decision over that kind of stuff. ESL is only the tournament provider. And so that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of the story which has been happening, and it just pisses me off that people blindly follow people like Super tweeting how shit ESL is, but not looking at the other side of the story. Yeah, I'm not saying ESL is perfect. They've done some shit. There's a lot of volunteer admins which do make mistakes, but they're only human.
Yeah.
Mistakes can happen, and most of the mistakes get fixed. And it's very rare that ESL actively does a mistake in a professional or semi-professional environment, which is a mistake on their part or is like active wrongdoing on their part. I actually don't think I've seen that happen in the past year or so in a semi or professional level.
Mm.
And all that's happened is just stuff that that the fans don't like because their team isn't allowed to play or can't play because, I don't know, for example, the thing with FaZe having their power outage for their gaming house where all the players were in. First
Yeah.
of all, the first gaming house I've ever heard of which doesn't have a emergency power. All gaming houses or streaming houses, especially for esports teams, have an emergency power because in case there's an outage, they can still play. So,
Yeah.
so that's that. I was very surprised by that. But then people hated on ESL because none of the players could show up to play. Why is it ESL's
Hog.
fault? Yeah, and that's just one of those things like ESL did nothing wrong. But if the players have a technical difficulty, which is not ESL's fault, then you shouldn't blame ESL. So that's just, I don't know, some stuff I want to get in and talk about because it's been happening more and more lately, and people, and especially with the exclusivity contract ending in end of this year. It's just, I think, important to actually look at all the sides and actually think like, will Ubisoft actually completely remove the contract, because ESL has not been doing much wrong actually, and been doing much better than a lot of other tournament providers in terms of coverage and tournament coverage and all that, and then trying to find the new tournament provider, for example Starladder or anything in that regard, which actually provide you with which actually get the community to play, and where all the people play, and there's a setup, there's admins and all that, for like that all has to be implemented, and that's a shit ton
Yeah.
of work. Tournament organization in total is heck of a lot of work, and people just see, hey, just let the two teams play and it's gonna be fine. I mean, no, there's so much stuff with the
Yeah.
rules, with settings, with coverage and all that stuff, which has to be taken care of, and people just don't think about that.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100% Like, wow, wow. Yeah, but anyway, as I was saying, yeah, definitely that there is rules in place for a reason, but at the same time, sometimes it's a bit bullshit. Sometimes, but at the end of the day,
Mm.
who cares?
Yeah, as I said, like I'd never said that ESL is doing everything perfectly. Not at all. As I said, people make mistakes. ESL makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but not to such an extent that it's actually as bad as people say.
Yeah,
And or maybe there are stuff, but that I don't know of. The thing is, I know people working at ESL. I work with ESL. I know. I'm actually friends with BK. Who doesn't know him? He is the community manager of Rainbow Six. I know the people he works for as well, like his boss, and I know a lot of people at Ubisoft and the esports department there. And so like every time something like this comes up, I'm just like, but the team was the one that didn't show up, or the guy had macro running, and now his fans are mad at ESL for banning him. That was the thing with Shaiko. Like he had a macro running. It doesn't matter what it was used for. If he was actually cheating, he had a macro running, which is against the rules, so he got banned.
yeah,
And this kind of stuff, just like people do something stupid, or there's a technical difficulty, which it's not even their fault, but also not ESL's fault, and then the rule says technical difficulties cannot be taken into account. End of the discussion. So yeah, that's bad luck, but not ESL's fault. So I just mean, yeah, it's just very depressing to hear so many people shit on ESL when they don't fuck up everything, as so many people say.
yeah. I get what you mean, man. I really do. Hmm. There's nothing I can say really. I want to move on to other things. I'm scared. No, I'm not. But yeah. Apart from that, yeah, definitely ESL has been shit on in the past quite a lot. Things have happened at the same time. Has been a few instances I've noticed, but you know we're not going into debt with them. Uh, yeah. Anyway, other gaming news. Other gaming news. What else is happening in gaming currently? We're still waiting for many good titles such as Outer Worlds and Cyberpunk.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Dude.
Sony.
I'm.
Sony
Hmm?
apparently announced that
Oh yeah.
they're allowing cross-platform for any game
Yeah.
after
Which
being
is actually huge.
yeah, it's
So
huge
finally I
in
can.
the case of Sony. Yeah,
Yeah, and also for Siege, because then if you think about it, all those console diamonds, when they play against PC players, that's gonna be a yikes.
oh yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
okay, I'm just kidding, but just think about it. It's gonna make the skill gap so much bigger because, like, if it comes to Siege, I think it's not fair at all to let console players play against PC players. In other games, it can
yeah,
to some extent be relatively fair or not be too bad, and some games you even have an advantage with controllers, which is relatively rare but happens. But then I don't know, for Siege that would be, I mean, that would be so sad for all the actually good console players, because they wouldn't get the reward of, for example, going diamond, platinum, or even challenger, which they normally would on their designated console if they'd only play against console players. But
yeah.
yeah, but I'm excited for that. Finally, I can get it off copper.
You silly boy, you silly goose. You will never get
Yeah.
with copper.
Oh wow, that hurts if you say that.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
I've been trying. I'm
Just
already
like,
copper 4, not copper 5 anymore.
just like I'll never get out of unranked.
Oh wow. Okay, maybe playing ranked helps.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, so upcoming things. Bro League. Next week the finals are starting.
yes. And you know what's very funny?
What?
It's the week where I'm not at my house. That means if I cast, I have to cast from Portugal.
Portugal.
Portugal, exactly. So I'm gonna sit in my hotel room put a bed, a blanket over my head, then just talking to the microphone while watching the game. Well,
Yes.
that's gonna be terrible. It's gonna work. I hope it's gonna work.
It might not, but as long as you're there,
We'll
buddy.
figure something out. We'll figure something
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Uh, I don't know.
Oh yeah, but for Brutal League, have you looked into the teams a little bit at all, or
Oh yeah, I've
um?
looked into the teams. Obviously we've seen a few of the same teams play. Obviously I've been a bit sick to cast this week, which
Yeah.
is sad. I wish I was casting more. Obviously tonight there was a game, but LambCast. So
It's LambCast first.
my show first, other things later. Uh, yeah. Uh, like apart from that, it's like gaming related right now. I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
It's the end of the year, so it's a lot of games coming out. But
Oh
my
yeah,
problem is
COD.
that I just the beta was. I just gave like 150 beta keys when the closed beta was, um, and that was a lot of fun, dude.
How
I
the
still
fuck
got
did you?
like
How did you have 150 beta keys?
I theoretically would have had more, but so I have a friend of mine who works for Activision,
Ah,
um, and so I asked her to asked her, so she no actually she messaged me last like, hey, we need some beta testers for Modern Warfare, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. And she just sent me over like 20 keys, and I was like, what do I need 20 keys for? She was like, oh yeah, so you can play with your friends. And my first reaction was I have friends. My
yeah,
second reaction was, oh, I can just give them away. So then I told her, oh yeah, sure, I'm just gonna give them away. I'll give them to some of my friends. So I gave like 10 of those to friends of mine. Then I
yeah,
decided to give some away like randomly, whichever way. And then I posted about that, and I was just like, hey, anybody needs a key? And then I think easily Suzaku is like some pro players from NA, and people.
yeah.
I got tagged in their post because they were looking for a better kid. And I just gave it to them, and then easily, for example, posted about this on his Twitter with his 30,000 followers. And next thing I knew was that I had 150 DMs for people asking me for
Crap.
keys, and I asked her, hey, can you give me like some more? She was like, oh yeah, sure. She sent me over like 120 more keys. And then she was like, oh yeah, sure, I can send you some more over the next day, because she was heading out for out of work. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, no problem, it should be enough. I got more and more messages, and I was like, oh shit. I don't have enough keys, but I just said, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna get something tomorrow. Next
yeah.
day happens, and she messages me, hey, I just been sent to the hospital. I fell down a set of stairs when going into work. I said I can't send you any more keys right now, but I'll see if someone else can. And I didn't get any more keys, and I felt so bad for all the people who didn't get keys. And
Yo,
it was a very
you
sad
should
story.
totally get me some developer skins.
I don't even think I can get them myself. Maybe I can if I ask nicely, but I mean that's just like one of those like funny stories. Which like I was so happy to so many people message me like, oh, that's so awesome of you, and I was like, oh, I felt good, and then I didn't have keys anymore. I was like, ah, shit, now I disappoint people. Yeah, that's my life right there.
Disappointing people. I don't like disappointing
Yeah.
people, but when I have to, I have to.
Oh wow, that's what my last girlfriend said.
Oh shit. Oh, maybe
About
she...
me.
Oh wow.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Ah god. Oh yeah. You know what? Even the funnier thing is, I actually gave away my own key I had for myself to play Modern
Oh,
Warfare
you
better.
daft.
So I actually didn't even get to play it myself, which is the funniest thing about that whole story, because I was like so focused, because I thought, yeah, I'm gonna get new keys, and in that evening I didn't have time anyway, so I thought I'm gonna either download it through the night or the next morning or whatever. And then I couldn't get more keys. Now I just gave away my final key, I think, because I think, who was it, some semi-pro or someone, and I think it was, who was it, I think some YouTuber messaged me as well, Trickery or something like that. I think he's a destructive YouTuber, and I actually think I gave him my last key, And I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, I should get new ones, and then I didn't.
You see,
and then
I
was
didn't, I
sad.
didn't, I was guaranteed the beta because I pre-ordered it.
Oh, you did? Oh wow, okay.
I pre-ordered it when it was first available.
Well, I mean, there's this rule in gaming: never pre-order, and you just broke that rule, so I'm a little disappointed in you.
I'm a rule breaker. What do you expect?
Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
No wonder you got kicked out of school now.
Excuse me, I didn't. I finished my school career with all A's.
With all A's.
Yeah.
The teacher just fucked up because he was thinking like, I'm gonna tell him he's an asshole. Just A, and then he went like, oh shit, and then he already sent it out, and then you were just like, I'm a good boy.
Ha!
I don't think that's how it happened, or that would even work. But sure, let's just say I'm right in this way.
Yeah, let's just say you're right that way.
Yeah, I like to be right. Just keep it.
Yeah.
Definitely not some shit I just made up. Oh boy. Oh,
That's
some
what?
some
Yeah.
other funny news. I might actually start working as a sound designer and sound engineer for a game that's being um uh, developed right
Developed.
now by Flat Tail Studios. It's not There's nothing official about it yet. I just sent them some samples and all that so they can know if I'm like good enough for that job and whatever. And that's actually really cool. I did that a little bit when back in university, like just three
Yeah.
semesters ago, and we had like a game audio and everything. And I was like, oh, that's actually cool. It's a lot of fun, but it's really hard to get into that industry, you know? And now I got the
Yeah.
chance, and now I'm going to use it, and I'm going to be the best Foley artist in the world.
Yes, blood. Try to think
Yes.
what games they've made, if they've made any yet.
They haven't made any yet. It's a brand new studio, which is actually which wait. I don't think I can. I'm not sure if I can say that, so I'm not gonna say it
can't.
just in case. No, so I'm not gonna say it, but it's really cool, and they haven't actually put out a game yet. But
Yeah.
the game they're working on right now is like what I've heard of it and seen of it sounds and looks amazing. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
Yes,
No, but
yes,
anyway.
yes.
Uh, we'll cut it short today. Well, shorter. We'll make a shorter show today. Due to the fact, obviously, we touched up on a lot of things. Well, we'll do a
Yeah.
segment. What games are you excited for, as of the moment, that haven't been released?
I mean, okay, one has been released, Borderlands 3, but I haven't actually bought it yet, and that's the first time
I've got it. It's
since
pretty sick.
since Borderlands 1 I haven't immediately bought or pre-ordered Borderlands, and the reason being that I just don't have time to play it. Like this week, I played Siege, which is the game I play the most, for less than an hour, which is not much because I just didn't have time. And so I still holding out to buy that. And the thing being, I have over 6,000 hours in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands pre-sequel to get each. Or
Yeah.
together, I'm not sure, but I've a lot of hours in each of those games because I was also like doing a lot of speed running and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love the Borderlands series, but it's the first time in years that that I can't play Borderlands immediately. I'm very sad.
I get you, brother. It's a very fun game. I've got it.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I want Shooty McShoot in my face to come back, but he's probably dead because you shot him in the face.
Anything else? Like Cyberpunk
Oh.
is the standard one.
I actually not really interested. Like it looks cool and the promo for it is awesome and stuff, but I'm just not really a single player.
Blasphemy.
No, it's true. Like the
Yeah,
only
I
single
get it.
player games I've played in my I really enjoyed were Minecraft single player, but the reason that you could enjoy that was also that you have the chance to go multiplayer and play with friends and all that stuff, or,
Yeah.
or just invite someone to your world. Then Borderlands, but you could also have like a stack there with four people in total.
Yeah.
And then let me look. Let me just look through my library real quick. 'Cause maybe I have one or two other games. Oh, yeah, I mean Pokemon. All Pokemon games, obviously.
I play Pokemon Go.
Every day. But besides that, I don't really. Okay, there's one game. There's one game which I love. Actually, two, two games which I love. One is called A Story About My Uncle. It's an amazing game. Incredible. It looks great. It plays well. It's only like 6 hours of playtime, I think, but it's so good.
Oh,
And then also, yeah, definitely, it's only like $5 on Steam. I think it's so worth it. And then the other one would be, where do I have it? Where do I have it? Oh yeah, Metro Last Light, but that's a pretty old one. Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a platformer, single player platformer, and
fair
it's
enough.
such
Yeah.
a beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Music and looks wise, you have to look at some of the promotion footage of it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But new games, I don't know, dude. I literally don't know.
Me, I say
I
every
hope
week. Well, one of them I'm excited for. Shadowkeep's already out. Gonna be grinding that. Expect a stream tomorrow where we're gonna
Oh
be
boy,
tackling the new raid that is coming out.
dude, I have no idea what you're talking about, but it
Exactly.
sounds awesome,
It is awesome. But anyway, yeah. Apart from that, COD coming out at the end of this month. We've got
so. Is it?
yep, 25th of
Alright.
October. Yep.
Oh boy, oh boy.
COD coming out at the end of this month. Other things such as Cyberpunk Standard, Outer Worlds as usual. That's about it for me.
I'm
But-
still waiting for Siege 2, to be honest. So
Yeah, Siege is not my favorite game as of late. But
wow,
yeah.
blasphemy.
You're, funnily enough, there's a song that just came on that's called Blasphemy.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. You know, not many people came along tonight, but I'm sure people will watch the YouTube video. And if you're watching later on when the video has been uploaded, hi.
Hi
But
there.
sadly, we're going to have to say bye because it's the end of the show. Anyway, I've been Lamb. Sentis has joined me today.
Yeet.
Yeet. Anyway,
It's all I wanted to say.
yes, it's been LambCast and good night.
Good night.